Knights, as noble warriors of the medieval era, have inspired numerous myths and misconceptions. Let's explore 10 myths about knights and the reality behind them. Myth 1. Knights were all valiant and chivalrous heroes. Reality. While the concept of chivalry was idealized in medieval literature, not all knights embodied these virtues. Some knights engaged in acts of cruelty and violence, just like any other warriors of the time. Myth 2. All knights wore shining armor. Reality. Shining armor was not standard for all knights. Only the wealthiest knights could afford full suits of polished armor, while others wore simpler and more practical armor. Myth 3. Knights were always mounted on horses. Reality. Knights were skilled horsemen, but they were not always mounted. They also fought on foot when necessary, especially during sieges and close combat. Myth 4. Knights were only men. Reality. While the majority of knights were men, there were notable exceptions, and some women were also knighted or fought as warriors. Myth 5. Knights were primarily engaged in romantic quests for damsels in distress. Reality. The romantic quests of knights were popular themes in literature, but in reality, knights were more focused on warfare, serving their lords, and protecting their lands. Myth 6. All knights participated in jousting tournaments. Reality. Jousting tournaments were popular events among knights, but not all knights participated. Tournaments were expensive and dangerous, limiting participation to those with the means and skills. Myth 7. Knights were solitary warriors. Reality. Knights were often part of a larger army or military force. They fought alongside other soldiers and followed the commands of their lords or commanders. Myth 8. Knights always fought in epic, one-on-one duels. Reality. While knights did engage in individual combat, most battles were chaotic and involved group fighting with swords, spears, and other weapons. Myth 9. Knights had no education and were only skilled in combat. Reality. Many knights received an education in addition to their combat training. They were often taught literature, languages, and other subjects befitting their noble status. Myth 10. Knights were exclusively European. Reality. The concept of knighthood was not exclusive to Europe. Similar warrior traditions and chivalric codes existed in other cultures and regions, such as Japan and the Islamic world. Understanding the reality behind these knight myths helps us appreciate the complex and multifaceted role knights played in medieval society. Knights were both warriors and members of the nobility, with diverse backgrounds and motivations. Their historical context extends beyond romanticized portrayals in literature and pop culture.